Hi guys, and welcome to my new channel. In this channel I'm planning on basically just talking about Warhammer stuff, my hobbies. So building models, building terrain, painting stuff, you know, that kind of a channel. So I wanted to kick things off by talking about this Baneblade that I built out of cardboard, essentially. So I think the bottom is unpainted, or well, you can see, just for proof that it is cardboard, right? You see inside, there is cardboard inside and underneath. So yes, it's based off of a template I got on a website called Scribed, I think it was called. I'll link that in the description. The template is based on the old White Dwarf Baneblade template, which is kind of famous. It's like a really old papercraft version of the Baneblade, but this version is based on that, but updated so that it's closer to the right modern size of the main Baneblade. So let's give it a spin just to show you what I've done here. And I have a few pictures of the work in progress, so I'll just put them up and kind of talk through exactly what I did. So this is the first photo, and it just shows the tracks and the back of the tank, the engine compartment, I guess it must be. I'm not really sure what it's meant to represent. You can see that I printed out the template on just regular printer paper, and I Prit sticked or stick glued it to the chipboard. The main bulk of the tank is made out of this chipboard material, which is the browner cardboard you can see where the paper is torn. It's what you find at the back of legal pads, and it's just very thick, strong cardboard essentially. So one of my big mistakes in this build was using the Prit stick to glue down the paper too thoroughly and then not being able to peel it off. So I ended up leaving an awful lot of the paper on the tank. In places it kind of looks like maybe a layer of metal that's peeling up in certain spots, which is kind of cool, but I think I would have preferred to not have it. So, you know, if you're going to attempt a build like this, I would advise you to make sure you can remove the paper. The next photo, you can see most of the tank, or most of its constituent parts at least. So we have the body, the turret, housing, the turret, side sponsons, and the 3 mini turrets. You might notice that it's a mirror image of how it's meant to be, and this is because it is a local pattern variant of the Baneblade, and it is not because I completely accidentally folded the cardboard the wrong direction like an idiot. Yeah. You can see up above the center turret, or below the main turret I mean, I tried to peel off the paper again there and it did not work, but the final result, it's not that noticeable anyway, so it's okay. And here in this picture you can see it mostly put together. You can really tell what it is now. I also added smaller cardstock detailing, some doors on either side, and just some extra panels just to add more interest. In this picture you can see I've added the battle cannon, which is made out of an assortment of plastic lids glued together. The main cannon is actually a black permanent marker that's just drilled in the top to make a kind of a hole for the actual gun. and then I've got some extra heavy weapons from a heavy weapons kit that were just going spare in my bits box. And then the heavy bolters are actually green stuff molds, or blue stuff molds, and then they're made out of green stuff. To create the large fuel tanks, or whatever they're meant to be, at the back of the tank, I used these pencil sharpeners, which I thought was kind of cool. Oh, and I also started adding rivets. You can see these little dots everywhere. Those are glass beads. They took absolutely ages to glue on. And this picture is just another angle of the same thing. And then in this photo, you can see that I've started adding a lot of baggage and stowage and little extra bits and pieces. The stowage items are taken from a Tamiya kit, the military modern US military equipment set is what it's called. Yeah, it's just a nice little kit with a lot of 1/35th scale baggage and little bits that work quite well for Warhammer models as well. Then there's a few other bits like the smoke launchers and searchlight and little Aquila, however you pronounce that, symbols on the front. They're all taken from the Games Workshop vehicle accessories sprue, the Imperial Guard or Astra Militarum vehicle accessory sprue. You can also see that I've added the tracks, which are water bottle lids with more cardstock glued on top of them. In this image then, you can see I've added more lights, just 2 headlights on either side of the tracks, and I've added a bunch of medical gauze to kind of hide mistakes and just add a bit more detail. So that's going to be camouflage netting essentially. And then you can also see at the front and at the back of the turret I've added some sandbags that I sculpted out of Daz modeling clay. Then here it is sprayed with a primer, a grey primer, and just another angle of the same. This is when it started looking like a real model, and I was really proud of it before I absolutely ruined it by painting it. Yeah, this is my favourite picture of it. I wish I hadn't gone further. And then the finished model. So yeah. I think it was a nice learning experience. I will probably try and do it again, remake it at some point, make it a bit better hopefully. I'm considering respraying it and repainting it completely. I would love to be able to strip it of paint and paint it from scratch, but unfortunately the cardboard parts will probably just dissolve if I try to strip them, so that's a no-go. But yeah, I might respray it and start from scratch once I've a bit more practice in painting tanks. But for what it is, I'm pretty proud. It's turned out a lot better than I imagined. So, thanks for watching, I hope you enjoyed it, and maybe check back again, and I might have some other interesting stuff to say. I might film myself building the next iteration, if I ever get around to it.